Man, I'm so sure. Absolutely no reservations. Okay, listen. By the power of my braid, I've made a decision. And, well, I'm done. Yeah, it just kind of hit me overnight. Energies and stuff. What's going on, you guys? James here with another real recap and review of Love is Blind Season 7. This week is the finale. That's right, only one episode to talk about, and that's episode 12. We've made it, y'all. Weddings. I know. You all have loved this season and have no reservations about it whatsoever. That would be a lie. But I'm excited to get started with my spoiler-free thoughts and then transition into my spoiler discussion. So, if you have not watched episode 12, which is about like an hour long, go ahead and hit the big red button below, get subscribed to the channel, save this to your watch later list, like this video if you can, and just come back when you've watched it and let me know in the comments if your predictions came true and if you like the results, because I dropped some predictions, right? I'm coming hot off New York Comic Con coverage, but I said, you know what? We gotta still talk Love is Blind. So I dropped the predictions video at the beginning of this week, and let's see if my predictions come true. But before we get there, it's time to get into my spoiler-free thoughts. Now, the finale itself overall was sweet. It was really touching in moments, but ultimately forgettable. Now look, I'm not saying that because I wanted drama around every corner. Yes, chaos. No, of course, I don't want that, because the last three couples here, I mean, two of the three I just really like, and they were my 1 and 2 of the year, right? So, or the season at least. So I thought, yeah, I want to see nice things. Just nothing happened that really provided the impact to a finale of Love is Blind that made me think, this season's gonna be memorable. Unless the reunion shocks us next week. Episode 12 just wasn't giving what it needed to give to make it a very memorable experience. So I guess maybe some people would disagree with me on that, but overall it just was nice. Nothing really stood out to me. On a technical note though, I am wondering why the drone shots were so darn messy during Taylor and Garrett's segment. I mean, even one shot was literally out of focus, and I thought, oh, hold on, maybe it's me, maybe it's my actual, internet. No, it just looked not only out of focus, but almost like they forgot to compress it properly because it was so pixely. What a mess. But again, the technical notes, you don't come to Love is Blind for that, but it's just things I point out and I see. The music was fine. It was fine this week, better than the previous 2 weeks, but yeah, this won't be the best finale in Love is Blind history, but at least for fans of some of these couples, I could see why you would think, oh man, this was really nice. And hey, I can't actually say more than that because then it might venture into spoiler territory. So let me stop us here, y'all. If you have not watched episode 12, please again, go and subscribe to the channel and come back when you do and let me know in the comments your thoughts. But for right now, I just want to get right into the spoiler discussion because, yeah, man, it's weddings, okay? You can't say much without spoiling something. So spoiler warning, of course. But for now, we're going to get right into who's left on wedding day. Well, we've got 3 couples. Taylor and Garrett, Marissa and Ramses, and Ashley and Tyler. But episode 12 does not kick off with a lovey-dovey, I am so in love with you, we're gonna get married. No, it doesn't kick off with that. Instead, we transition right into the conversation we were left hanging on from episode 11. Yeah, that's right. Marissa and Ramses and their conversation. It seems like Ramses is getting cold feet after being in the hot tub. I still want to use that joke. It's the last time I can do that. And they're having a tough conversation because Ramses, with that blanket that was over him last week, was thinking, I don't know about this, Marissa. And Marissa's really beside herself. But if you thought she was beside herself in episode 11, you ain't seen nothing yet. Ramses reveals to Marissa that he's scared he's gonna hurt her based on his previous divorce with his ex. Now this sounded kind of like an excuse to me because it wasn't brought up previously. At least Marissa was really surprised by all of this. She was saying, you were all in a day ago and now you're not because you spoke to some family? Well, yeah, he did speak with some family. And it seems like whomever he spoke with, well, they reminded him of his feelings maybe leading him astray. Ramses mentioned, hey, my feelings are telling me to move forward, but they've led me in the wrong path before. And then he starts saying, well, hey, now love is not enough is what he's saying. And I see what he's getting at. Then he brings up that certain things he just can't get over. Now, love is a big part of it, right? And, of course, you have to love your partner through and through sickness and in health. It's literally in the wedding ceremony, right? The one that, And Ramses says, hey, look, I mean, love for me is not enough in this situation because I can't get over some things with you. This is where I think the conversation they had, I believe 2 weeks ago, about Marissa's love for the military and his dislike for the military is coming into play. It just feels, and well, oh my gosh, I just thought of this other one. The whole thing about like the babies and the having relations without using protective measures so that you don't have a baby too early, according to Ramses, and Marissa not wanting to go on birth control, which I totally get. And yeah, it seems like there's a whole mess here, but it's bubbling to the surface literally like a day before their wedding. My goodness. So Marissa finally says, hey Ramses, yo, do you feel like you're making a mistake here? And Ramses basically says yes. The gall of this man. Oh my goodness. When he went there, I'm thinking, this girl is now, you just made her look like a fool. And I like what, Marissa does tell him eventually, like, you should not have come to this experience. And Ramses is trying to say, like, listen, it's not you, it's me. He basically says that. Now, does he say it verbatim? No. But, yo, we have common sense. We know these things. Ramses is saying, it's not you, it's me, only sort of adds salt to the wound. And Marissa, she does not want to hear that. So I do feel bad for Marissa because it does seem like Ramses blindsided her. Well, they finally call off their engagement, and all I gotta say is one thing. Ramses, you better not run into Marissa's mom. Because that's gonna be a whole mess. I mean, oof. Can that happen at the reunion? Hey, Lachey's, is it too late? Come on, bring out Marissa's mom to the reunion. There is a close-up shot of Marissa leaving her ring on the ground, which was also a bit heartbreaking. But speaking of Marissa's mom, at the end of this segment, Marissa calls her mom. And what do you think her mom says? Honey, it'll be okay? No. She says, what? And I just know Marissa's mom is readying the troops. Where's the footage of that? So Marissa and Ramses are done. And then there were two. We have only Ashley, we have Tyler, we have Garrett and Taylor. So now it's time for our Bachelor and Bachelorette parties. So at the Bachelor Party between Tyler and Garrett, it was actually the very well thought out Bachelor Party. It was pretty dope, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. So it was sweet seats that were given to them and their friends for the Washington Wizards. I don't know who they were playing. Was it the Atlanta Hawks? I can't remember. But it was a regular season game, and they got sweet seats, and it seemed fun. Because in the suites, it's unlimited food and drink. So give me all the lemonade and give me all the hamburgers. Just please, I'll take 14 of them right now. But that's not all. They were able to be brought out during the halftime show to play a hybrid game of musical chairs, where once the music stops, they have to dribble to the hoop, and the first one to lay up and get back to their chair wins. And Tyler won the game. Garrett was super close. There was one attempt with his layup. He put a little too much spin on it, but he was close on the first attempt. So it was a lot of fun to see them enjoying themselves. And I thought, man, if that's the Bachelor Party, what could the Bachelorette Party be? It was actually kind of I wonder what their reactions will be like when they watch this back, because they gave Ashley and Taylor a pajama party. So I'm not going to lie, this was very underwhelming compared to getting sweet seats at an NBA game and going on the court during halftime. But at least they seemed like they were having fun. There was a moment where they were having a conversation with everybody, and Taylor says how they have to just learn to give grace to their men during this experiment since it moves so fast. And I thought that was very mature of her. But her and Ashley have been very mature this whole season, to be honest. So even though it seemed like they were having fun, as a viewer, I will say the Bachelorette Party was a bit of a lame segment, but I feel bad for them. It just didn't seem like they were given as much intentionality by the producers as the men were on the Bachelor Party. Alrighty guys, here comes the brides, because it is time for our wedding ceremony segments. We're going to start with Ashley and Tyler's wedding day. So during the moments before the ceremony, they always bring in parents, friends, notes, and heartfelt things and food. So during Ashley's moments, I found it funny when she got to the house to get ready. I think she was still wearing the same sunglasses from the Bachelor Party. That's pretty funny. Tyler apparently wrote Ashley a note and sent her the ring she'll put on his hand. And if y'all know Ashley this season, she loves a good note. So all of Ashley's girlfriends are asking her, hey, are you excited? Are you nervous? And she said, the only thing that would get me to say no is if a catastrophic thing happens. So what do the producers do? Immediately, drama. What will happen? A fourth baby is revealed? I'm kidding. But that was just overly dramatic, I think. They're trying to play up the theatrics here. So eventually, let's go to Tyler and see what he's doing moments before his ceremony and their ceremony. Well, Tyler's friend says many things, but one of the things that caught my eye and my ears was him saying to Tyler, you love her, huh? You trying to have a baby soon? Homeboy, he's got 3. He can wait on this next one with Ashley. One thing I didn't really love in this moment, though, is when Tyler was using God's name in vain around his buddies, and after someone who, was praying with Ashley in the pods and in Mexico, and I just don't love this. Yeah, I know. You're probably thinking, this guy, he's so lame. No, it's just things that I don't like after someone, says, they got the Lord at the center of their life, but of course we're all a work in progress, so I'm praying that maybe he works it out of his vocabulary. Anyway, I thought it was really cool that we saw Tyler's mom. I think that was the first time we saw Tyler's mom. I believe her name is Dawn, so we got 2 Dawns this season. And Tyler reveals he didn't invite his dad on purpose, so there seems to be a little bit more under that layer than what we're seeing. Maybe we'll hear more about it in the reunion, but it just feels like Tyler's more at ease with letting himself, his true self, sort of act during the wedding day when his father's not around. So, we'll leave it at that. Alrighty, y'all. So, you know what time it is. It's wedding time between Ashley and Tyler. Now, the music during their ceremony felt really, really overly dramatic, almost very pointed, like they wanted us to believe one of them is going to say no. In moments before Ashley's brought out, we see her dad, who's going to walk her down the aisle, crying in the conversation with her. It was so nice, but it's not nice. The fact that they had both of them walk out together through this tiny door. That door was so small, like they were like, shoulders. You go first. No, you go first. It was just weird. Come on, Netflix. Think about this. The door's got to be wide enough, at least, to fit in 2 people who are arm in arm. You know what I mean? As Ashley's walking down the aisle, Tyler is, of course, crying, but I feel him on this because that will be me crying one day. And I'm telling you guys, I really appreciated the fact that they opened the ceremony in prayer and prayed in Jesus' name. Come on, y'all. I love that. So the officiant, he really rocked it. Not gonna lie, this is one of the better officiants in Love is Blind history. So they made their vows to one another, and it was super, super sweet. They both were emotional, crying, and it really felt like what you come to expect between Tyler and Ashley. So the officiant asks, Tyler, what do you say, bro? And Tyler says, I do. Then the officiant turns to Ashley, and if you remember, one of my dark horse predictions was Ashley might say no, based on the fact that Tyler lied. But as I'm watching this part of the episode, I'm thinking there's no way Ashley says no. And I was right. So Ashley does say I do. And they're officially husband and wife. Oh, that's sweet. Hey, listen, they were one of my favorite couples this season, so I'm glad they jumped the broom. No, literally, they jumped the broom. Alrighty, you guys, so now it's time for Garrett and Taylor's wedding day. And listen, the drone shots, they were not droning. It was annoying, okay? There was this one drone shot where you can tell, and then they speed it up and stuff, and the drone's going kind of crazy. Come on, Love is Blind. Come on. But the moments before the ceremony were pretty endearing and sweet, especially with Garrett. So let's start with him, because Garrett and his friends, they all get together, but Garrett's friend, of course, listen, homie, it's a happy moment. What are we asking the tough questions for? But he asks Garrett, how's the climate with your parents? And, Garrett answers, good, I think it's good. And then his friend is not convinced and says, oh gosh, I can't even remember. I'm trying to look at my notes here. But it just feels like they're kind of poking and prodding, and Garrett's like, just chill, homie. It's heavy, but just let it be right now. I definitely enjoyed seeing Taylor's dad come to see Garrett and help him with his bow tie. It was a very tender moment between both of them. And what made it even more emotional was Taylor's father saying he and his wife they're going to be there for them. There's not a moment they're not going to be available to help them both. And then Taylor's dad shares a touching story that made him cry about the tie that he's wearing. It was his brother's tie, whom has since passed away. So just a really touching moment, and it was really good to see Taylor's dad in front of the cameras, because I remember I think Taylor shared it a couple weeks ago that her father was a little about the cameras, especially being in San Diego. But that's not all for parent arrivals. Garrett's mom and dad arrived to the wedding as well, and they do share very similar worries. Garrett's mom and dad seem to still be on that side of we're cautious because the pace of this experiment, but little by little in this scene, you can tell that Garrett's mom is beginning to become more comfortable with the fact that her son is marrying someone in whom he loves with all his heart. And I thought that was a really mature turn, you know what I mean? Oh, and just a really cool note here, total coincidence of course, but both Garrett and Taylor's parents got married on the 13th, like Garrett and Taylor are. Ha! Would you look at that? Ooh, meant to be. Alrighty, so now let's go on to Taylor's moments before the ceremony, and there's only one note I have here because for the most part there wasn't really anything to take away. Taylor's mom gave Taylor her baby bonnet, and you know what, that made Taylor's mom cry, which means it almost made me cry because it was super emotional. Alrighty, you guys, time for the wedding ceremony, and I will say I don't have too much to talk about here. I don't know why. It just feels like maybe the last half of this episode in particular just felt a little bit of a chore to get through, but not because there was anything terrible about it. There was nothing that made my eyebrows raise or notes to take down. It just seemed like your traditional Love is Blind wedding ceremony. So it didn't really make me want to take too many notes, but the officiant eventually asks both of them, well, what do you say? And Garrett says, I do, and Taylor says, I do. This was probably the easiest prediction in Love is Blind history, guys. Of course they're going to get married, and they did. So, hey, what does that mean for the series, right? Well, they're breaking records. Last season, we had only one marriage, and that was between Amy and Johnny. This season, we've got 2 marriages. Yup, Ashley and Tyler, Garrett and Taylor. Congratulations to both of them, and I really hope we still see them together, of course, at the reunion next week, which I'll be covering. So you want to get subscribed, hit the big red button below, and tap on that bell so you don't miss out, and hit the thumbs up button if you enjoy recaps and reviews just like this, because y'all, that is all she wrote for Love is Blind Season 7. We've got 2 marriages, a plethora of breakups, and a lot of drama when it comes to some contestants, Steven. And, well, Tyler too, still? I mean, the verdict is still out. Like, there's a little bit more to that than I think. Again, I've been avoiding all off-camera spoilers, but there's something there, right? Maybe they'll reveal something at the reunion? Who knows? Only time will tell. So get loud in the comments below and let me know, you guys, what you thought of this finale. Do you agree with me that maybe it was a little forgettable, or do you actually disagree and think that this was amazing? Because if you do, feel free, guys. Let me know in the comments, because I'm so sure that this season, while it's not the worst, might not be a season where everyone is ranting and raving about it, but I mean, my 2 favorite couples got married, so isn't that a win? I think so. Alrighty, y'all, well, that's all I got. Thanks so much for watching. God bless you guys, and I'll catch you at the next screening. Oh man, does it feel like there's something still missing here? Oh, a Leo poem. Let me go ahead and no, you don't want me to read another Leo poem? Oh, okay, we'll wait.